This is The Gate 2 on our 31 spooky movies of Halloween. I loved The Gate whenever I was a kid. It's one of my favorite 80s horror movies, and somehow I made it 30 years without knowing that there was a sequel. Why am I never informed about these things? Yes, there is a sequel to The Gate. Not a terrible direct-to-video sequel, but a terrible theatrically released sequel in which Stephen Dorff's little sidekick from the first movie returns and decides to summon demons on purpose this time because it worked out so well. And so Terry's incantation is interrupted by 3 other teens, and he only manages to summon a little 6-inch minion. But the twist is, this minion can grant wishes. And so naturally, the 2 bullies kidnap the little hellspawn for their own self-interest, and Terry, with his father's life on the line, must get the diminutive demon back and send it to hell, where it belongs. So, I'll hand this to The Gate 2. This is not the direction that I expected the sequel to go in, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. Gone is the haunted house aesthetic that worked so well during the first movie. Now the action takes place in multiple settings, many of them outdoors and many of them in full and direct light. And it just doesn't have the same effect. Imagine Amityville outside of the Amityville house. It would be as boring and unscary as an Amityville movie. Secondly, the tone is all wrong. The Gate 2 goes for a more light-hearted, comedy-centric approach before snapping back to demonic horror, or at least the closest to demonic horror that it can muster. It's a tonal snap so jarring that I think I have whiplash. For example, when it's discovered that the minion can grant wishes, Terry and the girl character, who has no other characterization other than being the love interest, wish for a car. The next morning, the car... well, there's really no delicate way of putting this. The car and everything they wished for literally turns into feces. An interesting premise that the movie never takes advantage of for horror. One of the bullies, for example, has a heart condition and literally says at one point that if he could have a wish, it would be to fix his heart. And I thought, wow, it's going to be so sad when his heart turns to crap and he dies, but strangely, he never makes the wish to fix his heart. What gives with that? Even at the end, it seems like The Gate 2 is going to bow out with a dark ending in which a major character unexpectedly dies, only for him to pop up out of a coffin at his own funeral like a jack-in-the-box. Wait, was this kid embalmed? Was an autopsy performed? I mean, he did die under mysterious circumstances. Why did this kid come out of the coffin cracking jokes? Shouldn't he have been screaming to return to the sweet embrace of nothingness once again where he could feel no agony? And then 2 other previously dead characters come out of the coffin too. Were they just like hanging out between this guy's legs the whole time? How did all 3 of them fit in there? I have questions that The Gate 2 must answer. Strangely though, I don't hate this movie. I want to, I feel like I need to, and I have every reason to, but The Gate 2 just has this disgusting charm to it that even the unnecessary sequel curse can't crush out. I like the characters. The special effects for being late 80s are still pretty darn impressive, and the supernatural adventure vibe, that really gels with me. Okay, fine. Although it's an unnecessary sequel that literally no one asked for, it's a decent movie on its own. As a sequel to The Gate, it's a minion wish on the second day, if you know what I mean. But as a standalone horror comedy, it's not bad. I certainly don't regret watching it, and I don't think you would either, so if you can get over the connection to The Gate, you might enjoy it. And so, strangely enough, it is my most extra deepest Hell Minion wish that you put The Gate 2 on your list of 31 spooky movies of Halloween.